starting to burn low. We have one last storyteller in our circle tonight, the gentleman who put all this together for us this evening. Ross Tarr is the founder of the Storytellers of Old Tampa Bay. He also has another job, kind of an interesting job. He's actually the personal biographer for Santa Claus. Come see us during our holiday classics and you'll learn more about that. But tonight, he's going to tell us about one night on the Skyway Bridge.
Hello, campers! You know, there's an old proverb that says, when an old man dies, a library burns to the ground. Well, at my age, predating World War II, I like to think of it the other way around. As an old man lives, a library stands. And this old library can remember St. Petersburg, Florida, and Tampa Bay back in the day. Back in the day when there was no Skyway Bridge spanning the entrance to Tampa Bay. Back when one took a ferry to go from the end of Pinellas County over to the rest of Florida. And you know, during the 1920s, there was a great movement to put in a bridge, and even a better idea, a tunnel. But political things being what as they were, the ferry continued to operate with a 50-year contract again. The Great Depression ended that movement to build a better way. And St. Petersburg politicians, when it reared its head again, had their say. When the idea of that tunnel came up again. Can't do it. Too dangerous. Big ships coming in and out from World War II. Too dangerous for a tunnel. Their financial interests, we never knew. But eventually, there was a bridge built. A bridge that came out, solid bridge from one side, solid bridge from the other side, and in the middle, a span. That first bridge has its own history. That first bridge has a history below it on the water that flows back and forth with the tides from the Gulf into the bay and from the bay back to the Gulf. One that gave us the greatest Coast Guard disaster in American history. The young coasties went out on their ship to rescue men in the middle of a storm, a great storm, dark wind blowing everywhere. Two boats had collided. They sank. One young man stood on the foredeck and threw life preservers to many of his mates. They survived. He was washed over, not to be seen again as the tides flow out into the Gulf. There was another time when two ships collided and more deaths. Eventually, the new span was built. Many stories about that. But those times when the water comes down as it does in Tampa Bay like sheets, where you couldn't see what was happening as he was carefully bringing this huge tanker through that open span. The wind caught it just right from broadside, pushed it into the pilings then. Above, the bridge, which was already swaying in the wind, paused for a moment, shook, as did the bus, the big commercial bus in the middle of the span. It swayed as the bridge did from side to side. The people screamed. And that whole center span gave way. It plummeted down to sink in the bay. With it came that bus full of people. 150 foot, 15 stories down. No one survived. On the edge of the span, there was a truck. It teetered like a child's teeter totter, back and forth, back and forth. And then it began a very slow slide. It skidded. The tires at the rear bumped on the pavement of the solid span that went to the once joining piece. And then it slid over, plummeting 15 stories. But a tanker had come in, and the truck crashed onto the foredeck. Miraculously, he was the only one of the cars, the bus, anything that had been on that span that survived. Years later, with the newly remodeled, broadened, and multi-lane bridge, he returned with his wife to flowers at the reopening into the waters to be carried by the tide. Now, it's rumored that there have been over 500 deaths connected with the Skyway bridges. We know of at least 325 who were supposedly voluntary. It seems to be a convenient place to take a 15-story building. Only takes a few seconds at 90 miles an hour as you fall. So one night, as I was driving out, and a storm came in, the wind was blowing, the rain's coming down, my windshield's completely obliterated with water. It's all fogged up. I've got the heater going, even though it's warm. I've got the heater going, I've got the blower going. I'm wiping it with a Kleenex. I go through the toll gate. I wanted to make sure, because, you know, they close the bridge when it gets really bad. The wind was blowing, and they kicked the gates out. The toll gate, we still had toll gate tenders. The kid at the toll gate said, no, it's still open, but be careful, because it's blowing again. And the bridge tends to tell you that. Gripping the wheel, I drove past the gate. Now there's that little area where it's very dark just past there, and suddenly I could see, even make out a form there, and all the water is coming down so fast that I could see a girl standing there, and I thought, oh my God. And it looked like it was a shadow of a car with her. She's broken down. And I pulled over. I opened her cross. I reached over. I opened the door. She got in. Bedraggled. Oh, her hair was dripping. Her clothes were soaked. She was young. She was pretty. It's nice to have company. I said, are you going over to visit someone? Did your car break down? She just smiled and dripped a little now and then. Her long hair, curling and bedraggled, water dripping from her eyebrows. So fair-skinned, such a likely girl. But the storm was severe, the rain was coming on. I'm still trying to wipe that windshield. My total focus is on what's up ahead. I'm going slow. I've started that incline. I'm going up that incline. I'm going up. It keeps getting steeper and steeper, as you know, when you drive up that arching way on the skyway. And all I can see is darkness, fog, almost zero visibility. I can't understand, why did the idiots close this bridge? The wind is blowing as the car's rocking. I get to the very top, and I turn to her and I say, well, now it gets easy because we're on our way down. And as I looked, the storm cleared. And I could see straight across the sea. I could see stars. I could see black sky. I could see distant lights. There was no more thunder. There was no more lightning. There was no more wind. Everything was perfectly still. Except the seat of my car was drenched. And by the time I got to the other side,